Hello, this is So Shroomy back again with another video. This time, this video is going to be turning different Animal Crossing characters into humans. All of the Animal Crossing characters I've picked are characters that I have in my actual Animal Crossing island, and these are my favorites that I'll be turning into humans. First up, we have Cherry. Cherry is a little red bear, and she was one of the first animals we had come to our island that weren't already there when we got the island. She's a peppy character, and she's got red hair. I gave her short red hair because, I don't know, I feel like that's something she would look really good with, and it would suit her personality really well. And I wanted to give her like a nice waving, happy look to her. She's wearing the summer dress that she first comes to the island in. And yeah. I really don't like how I did her hands. I don't know why, but today just wasn't my day when it came to hands. I couldn't, I struggled with all of the hands I drew, and I think you'll find that, with all of the other characters. I've given her very pink skin. She's slightly sunburnt, because I wanted to incorporate more of the pink look she has in the rest of her body, but I don't do that with any of the other characters. It's just Cherry. The hardest part about this was most definitely the pattern on her dress. I'm not very good with drawing patterns on clothes and things, and it's very obvious in how much I struggled with this. The transform tool was my best friend here. I tried a different shading style as well, which I'm really pleased with. I picked one color from the dress and I used it to shade most of the picture, except from the skin, which I used a purple because I thought it would look a lot warmer and it would suit her skin a lot better. So yeah. Next up, we have Savannah, one of my favorite designs and one of my favorite characters in Animal Crossing. For Savannah, I made her very tall, and you can see here me struggling with the hands again. And I wanted to give her kind of an awkward look since that's kind of how she acts in the thing. I gave her her classic teal jacket with the stripy top underneath. And I really, really like how her face turned out in the end. I'm really pleased with how I made her face look. I also love how her hair turned out. I don't know why, it's just the shape that her hair little bumps came out look so brilliant, and I'm really, really happy with them. I also really like her face shape and what I did to her eyes. For her skin, I gave her darker skin and I decided to give her Vertigo to match with the stripes on her skin. I don't know, I really like how it looks, and I love how nicely it came out. I tried to match up the stripes on her face with the stripes on the character as much as I could, but I don't know if I did a very good job of that. I do still really like how the Vertigo turned out. For the shading, I just picked a teal color, and I don't know if I did a very good job with shading. Shading has never really been my strong suit, but I did really try, and I hope it turned out okay, but like I said, shading is not my strong suit. Next up, we have Flo, who is one of the original villagers on me and my siblings' village. Flo has a sisterly personality, and I really, really, really wanted to try and get that across in her facial expressions and how she stood. She's kind of sat in a slightly slumped over position since she's very laid back. But she's laughing and she's kind of grinning at you because I feel like Flo would definitely laugh at the jokes that you make. The most difficult part about Flo was most definitely her jumper. It was such a difficult design to try and do, and like I said earlier, I'm not used to doing patterns and stuff on clothes, so it was quite difficult. I love how messy her hair looks, and I feel like it frames her face in a way that Flo's hair would do really well. And I'm pleased. She looks a bit tired, and I'm worried that her facial expressions don't match up. But I am still, despite that, I'm still really pleased with how her eyes turned out, even though it was all a bit difficult. Even though on the picture Flo has lots of pale spots around her body, I did give Flo darker skin. Originally, this was because I was trying to imitate Inuit people and I was trying to make Flo look like she was Inuit. But I have discovered that I actually got that wrong, and penguins are from Antarctica and not from the Arctic, which is where Inuit people are from. But I still stand by the decision of giving Flo darker skin, you know? She doesn't necessarily need to have a reason to have darker skin. And I think she looks really good with the darker skin anyway. The color I used for Flo's shading was a very, very dark red. And I feel like it worked really, really well, especially on her jumper. It just clicks very well. Um, it looks a little weird on her jeans and stuff, but I think I managed to sort it out later when I made the shading as a whole a lot darker. And last up, we have Wolfgang. I'm starting to think with every single one of these videos, I'm going to have at least one character that I really, really struggle with, because oh my goodness, Wolfgang was awful. I'm still not entirely happy with his design, but I'm glad he looks a bit plain and is not very interesting, and he's still a little wonky, but I really cannot be bothered to go back and fix it. Wolfgang, as you can see in the initial sketch, I didn't have much of a plan for. All I knew is that I wanted to give him a mullet and that he needed to have a jacket on. Um, but at first the proportions were completely off. I do fix this later, but it was still really difficult. And his hair was kind of tough because I'm not very good. I do draw mullets quite a lot, but somehow I'm still really, really bad at getting them down. This is me making him a bit taller because his proportions were completely off when I made him originally. Wolfgang is one of my favourite characters in Animal Crossing. I really like how grumpy his personality is, and he is really, really sweet despite his grouchy personality. But I really enjoy him. He definitely seems like some kind of old man to me. And I did really try to do him justice, even though he doesn't really resemble Wolfgang all that much. I gave him blue hair, and I tried to add the yellow tips of his fur in some grey hairs at the top of his head, but I don't know how well I got that across. And his jacket was awful to make. Oh, his jacket was so difficult. Even in the end, I'm not entirely happy with how Wolfgang's jacket turned out. It just doesn't look very good, and I don't know how I'd be able to fix it, you know? For the color of his shading, I used a very dark blue. I feel like it works quite well. But overall, I'm not entirely happy with Wolfgang, but I really did try my best, even if he still doesn't look all that great, you know? So that's everything. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm really pleased with how the designs came out, and I hope you like them as well. Bye!